And welcome into the Gaming Discourse. I am Tyler Frater alongside Richard De La Cruz
Hello.
and Chief Engineer Lieutenant Commander Connor Frater, who is off this week. It is Monday, November 10th, 2025. Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/gamingdiscourse, patreon.com/thegamingdiscourse. You can support us for $247, $10. Get your name in the video credits, early access to our videos, access to our Discord server, and more. I'm working on a video right now about Battlefield 6's single-player mode. Not necessarily a review of the mode itself and the story and stuff like that. Probably do a little bit of that, but also just an overview of, like, what a Battlefield single-player should be, what they've been in the past, and how they should go forward from here. Because I think Battlefield 6's single player is particularly bad for a number of different reasons, and it's not like it has to be that way. Battlefield has explored cool ideas in the past with different single player modes. But on our Patreon page for patrons, I wrote up mini reviews of every single player campaign for a Battlefield game. I think I played over the past 2 weeks, maybe longer. I think I've played every single one. So I went back, I played Bad Company 2, I played Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, Battlefield Hardline, Battlefield 3 and 4, and then I played the war stories from Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. So that's 7 Battlefields, and I don't know if 21. I don't think 2142 had like a single player campaign outside of like where you could set up matches and play bots. Like besides that, like I don't think 2142 had a campaign. I'm fairly certain Battlefield 1942 just had like you could just do instant action and just play bots. Battlefield 1943 was an Xbox Arcade title, so I'm assuming that was multiplayer only as well. I think I played every single one, so the idea for the video is I'm going to sort of contrast and compare certain things about previous Battlefields, their level design, how they structured their gameplay, and how they told their stories, and kind of break down, like, how a Battlefield single player should be, and how, especially moving forward with Battlefield being this, like, big bet for EA, what the future of that should be. So yeah, I just started writing the script today. I'm playing through Battlefield 6's campaign one more time, and it has some interesting ideas, but it's just really it doesn't explore those ideas very much, and it's just very bland and basic, and the characters aren't all that interesting, and I was just I had a gripe when I first played through the single player. I think I expressed this to you, where it was like at the beginning of the game, every time a character does something, they say they're going to do it before they do it. It's like it's like people taking like milsimming too seriously. So there's like at one point like when you're one of the characters, they come up to an elevator shaft and the power is out, so they have to slide down the elevator shaft. So one of the characters pulls out a glow stick and they're like dropping glow stick, and they pull out a glow stick and drop it, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna have to go, and the character goes descending, and then like grabs the cable, the elevator cable, and slides down. So and then I was playing today and I shot a helicopter out of the sky, and so it was funny because this helicopter is like 10 feet in the air because it's trying to drop troops, and one of your captain or whatever, Carter, he's like, you're playing as a character named Gecko, so he's like, Gecko, take out that helicopter. So anyway, you blow up this helicopter, massive cool explosion, and it's like 10 feet above. There's no way if you were there you would miss this helicopter exploding. There's just no way. But anyway, so after you take out the helicopter, Gecko's just like, helicopter destroyed. It's like, really? That's like, first of all, it's like, oh, thanks. It reminded me of that scene in Halo, the first Halo, where Cortana's like, this cave is not of natural formation. It's like, oh, you think, Cortana?
Yeah, right.
But also, like, as a writer, I don't know, that's a little opportunity to do something fun, instead of just having the character state what just happened. Say something like, I don't know, holy shit, or I don't know, make some kind of expressive, like, cool line, where it's like, I guess they won't be landing. Just some kind of personality there instead of just helicopter down, or like when Gecko's the character that drops the glow stick down the elevator, instead of dropping glow stick and like just say that's a long way down, or God, I hate heights. Just a little character thing right
Right,
there,
right.
just something to add a little color. Or oh, I forgot I packed these. Just whatever. Literally anything else but dropping glow stick. Like where everything you're doing, it's like they get up in the morning and they're like pouring cereal.
Yeah, so yeah,
Cereal.
self-narration.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's an episode what's that cartoon called? With the oddly what's
Fairly Odd Parents.
Fairly Odd Parents, yeah, where it's like Timmy goes downstairs and it's like an action. He wishes his life is an action movie, and so there's a scene where he's gonna butter toast, and he goes, "It's buttering time," and it's like this super intense like scene of him buttering toast because it's supposed to be an action movie. He also has a 5 o'clock shadow, even though he's like 9 or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, I'm writing that, working on that, and if you go to our Patreon page, I wrote little mini reviews of every other Battlefield single player, which um, uh, some of them were not easy to get through because some of them are quite bad, but some were okay. Some weren't that bad. Anyway, so yeah, and all I've been playing is more Battlefield 6 and a little bit more Ghost of Yode. So I can talk a little bit more BF6, but I want to. You said you've been playing more Arc Raiders,
Yeah, yeah.
so I would like to hear your ongoing Arc Reader
Escapades.
takes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't stop thinking. I can't stop thinking about Arc Raiders. I'm having so much fun with this type of game, extraction shooters, which is something that like Division did, and I didn't quite get into. Um, but the extraction portion in Division was by and large solely focused on the PvP aspect. Uh, you would go into I forgot what they're called, red zones, hot zones, the DMZ.
Dark
What's
Zone,
the
yeah,
DM?
the Dark
Dark
Zone.
Zone, Dark
Yep,
Zone.
yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that
You
was
would,
like the first extraction shooter. Was I think people have forgotten was
yeah,
the Division's Dark Zone. Yeah.
and the problem with that one was that yeah, like I said, it was solely focused on the PvP. It was, hey, you can come in here and get real good loot, but you're gonna find somebody and you're gonna get into a fight. Uh, and Arc Raiders has the backdrop of no, the world is destroyed by these machines. You have to go out there and scavenge and try to survive. There are other survivors as well who are just trying to do the same thing you are. However, some may be more devious than others. And most of my extractions or gameplay rounds have been without issue. And I choose not to fight people just because I'm playing a game. But if I need to fight, I will, and I have gotten to some scraps. Um, but nothing about those situations have ever made me upset or at least hate what I'm playing, which is of course a good thing. I think it's really fun trying to build your character up and your base. When I mean base, I mean like your workshops where you can build explosives or different types of explosives, different types of guns, different types of like shields and health items and stuff. But sometimes when you're out and about, things can happen. And I played a match where I was extracting. I was at the there. Depending on which level you go to, there are different ways to extract. And the first level is the dam, and you extract by an elevator. Like an elevator, you call it up, and you have to watch out when you do because once you call it, it alerts basically in the vicinity that you're trying to leave. And it's mostly for the arcs that are trying to hunt you down. So if there's any arcs nearby, they'll hear it and they'll head that direction and try to like scope you out and find you. So when I was extracting, the elevator came up and the door started to go down, and I began to run towards the elevator. But at this point, I was already spotted by a couple of arcs, so they were shooting at me. And as I was about to get to the elevator, um, I see a shot hit my back, and thank goodness shots from other players are visually different than shots from arcs. So I
Oh,
knew it
okay.
was somebody trying to take me out,
Interesting.
which is an insane thing to do if you are like at the end and just trying to leave. But there are those who like to see the world burn, of course, and they like to just cause havoc for everybody. And so I turned around and I started shooting at this guy who was trying to take me out before I got to the elevator, and I damaged him enough. And on my mic, I try not to talk to people as well.
Yeah.
However, this game, however, this game is letting me. Everyone is friendly
Uh-huh.
by and large, and
Yeah.
and so it's kind of given me that confidence to start talking again to people because it's just such a cluster when you try to do it in other multiplayer games. But I told him, I was like, we're at the end here, and you just took me out. But guess what? There are like 2 or 3 arcs targeting me, and now they're going to target you. So, and I've already shot you several times. So, what are you doing here, my man? And of course, sure enough, he gets taken out right before he gets to the elevator. The great thing about arc raiders is that if you get taken down, you go into a crawl stance where you can be revived by your teammates. If you're solo, you do just get downed. However, I can't recall if you can get back up. I think if you have a certain item, you can get back up. But generally, you just have to like wait until you die, or you can just surrender and end it early. But if you're in that mode, crawling around, you can still extract. You still have the ability to your character has an animation where they'll like kind of slump up to the computer and then start typing so that you can actually leave before you fully die.
Interesting. Okay.
So which is a great addition, just in any gameplay. But I was next to the elevator when he took me down, and I was like, now this is happening, my guy. And so I started extracting, and I completed the because it's on. I think it's like 3 to 5 seconds. Like it takes 3 to 5 seconds for you to like input the stuff in. And once I did that, the elevator door started to go up before he could get inside, and I closed him out.
Damn.
And I was like,
Cold.
good for you. Like, look what you did. You get nothing now. Like, just for being a jerk. So you have those really cool moments. And you have other moments where you are the maps will have events that happen every now and again. And the dam has an area where an excavator shows up. It's one of the arcs like things. I haven't really messed with it yet because it's a high level event. But there's a queen. They call it the queen. She's patrolling around it. There's something inside of it. She's patrolling around it. And she's huge, and it's fun because I'll be running around minding my own business because I'm focusing on just trying to build myself. And I ran past it one time and I was kind of looking over, and in the distance I see like a little dot running around. It's a guy that I can tell he's trying to do whatever. And the queen is just like towering above him, like stepping around, and just laser beams are coming out of her face, like face trying to like attack this guy. And I'm just watching this like unfold, and it was a very cool setup to see from a distance. There's a lot of really neat visuals to this game, despite how basic it can be because of the post-apocalyptic setting. But I think Embark did such a wonderful job creating a world that's very interesting, with the little exposition that they give you throughout the
Yeah.
game.
Is
And
there is there
go ahead.
one map, or are there multiple maps? Do you like
So
pick a map to spawn in, kind of like Tarkov, or how does that
there
work?
are there are as of now 5 areas. So there's one big map. You can't explore the entire map. You go into the different sections. Um, but the first area is the dam, and you'll play that level when you first start out. You'll play that level. Hold on one moment. You'll play that level maybe till you reach like level 2 or 3, or if you like extrapolate like 2 or 3 times, then you unlock like the buried city, which is a city that's been like overtaken by like sandstorms and like dust and sand. So it's like half buried. And then you'll unlock the spaceport. which is where they were trying to, like, humans were trying to escape to space and stuff. And then there's the Blue Gate. They call it the Blue Gate. I'm not sure what goes on there because that's like one of the final areas that you unlock. I think there's one more area, and I haven't visited that spot yet because as of now, I feel when I'm playing that there's still so much to do in the first area that I haven't seen everything. Like when you open the map, if I go to the dam area and I open the map for the dam, you will have, of course, your targeted areas, like not unlike a battle royale. Like you'll have, oh, here are houses, here are like a junkyard, here's whatever. But then you will have an outlined polygonal area, like let's say it's like a hexagon area, not but it'll be like this is the like hospital wing, and this area is highlighted yellow because that has like medium loot, and then there's a red area that's like this is high loot, this is where everyone's going, and this is more highly guarded than like the other area, so you have to be
Yeah.
prepared.
And is that the same every single or does that change? Is it like PUBG where like the army base always has the best stuff, or do those areas change?
Yeah, it's always the same. It's always the same. However, there are like let's say if I were to go to like water treatment facility in the dam, I may go there for medium loot, but there may be locked doors, and you can't get inside without a key of some sort. But you can only get
Okay.
those keys maybe as a reward from a quest, or you could find one. I have found one before, but it's not very common. And then things aren't very common. Sometimes you get really lucky. I found a blueprint for a gun that I can't build yet because I'm not at the required level to build that weapon.
Okay.
And then you can find blueprints um, for like medical like items and stuff. You do have, when you go back, you have traders. You have a girl who focuses on like bits and bobs. Then you have one who focuses on guns, one that focuses on medical supplies, and they all have voice lines. And they all have like characterizations of themselves. But like the one who sells like bits and bobs, you could buy stuff from her if I remember correctly. However, if you happen to go out and find seeds, instead of using your money, you can give her seeds and she'll give you bits and bobs. So despite having like a full backpack, if you find some seeds and she has something that you could get seeds for, like is it a good idea to maybe like drop those cloths you have that create bandages for yourself to get the seeds,
Yeah.
to guarantee that you may get that. But then you have to extract, correct? You have to extract without having
Taking a
any
risk.
issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that. You do have safe pockets and stuff, but the gameplay loop is very satisfying. That I haven't found any. I think I'm 10 plus hours into it, and I haven't found anything that I've gotten bored of yet.
Okay.
I have had a couple of like, will I get bored of this eventually? But I know that Embark has been extremely vocal since launch about what they are planning with their like roadmap and whatnot. I guess they're coming out with something called voyage expedition. And I guess that's their way of. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but
Nope.
in games like Tarkov, let's say people are playing for 3 months, there will be such an amount of players with high level stuff that there's no possible way that beginner players would be able to compete with them. So what they essentially do is they wipe like every X amount of months.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So that kind of everyone starts over. So what they are doing with the Arc Raiders is that in December, your character, you can choose to go to an expedition once you hit level like 20. And the expedition, you will basically send your character out into space, but you'll have to start all over. You'll have to start a new character. But the reward for doing that is permanent perks to your character.
Oh, interesting. Alrighty. Alrighty.
Like if you want to do that, you may get, I don't know. I mean, they haven't revealed anything yet, but I'm just surmising. But like maybe, and I know it's a silly number, like 2% extra stamina or
Sure,
something.
it'd be like
You know,
badass points in Borderlands or something like that. Yeah.
pretty much. But yeah, in order for it to make it enticing for those who've been playing a long time, you can do that, and then yeah, it'll reset everything. So, so that's interesting. I'm not at a point where I would ever think about doing that yet because I still,
Yeah,
you
right.
know, I'm playing, and so when I'll play with a friend of mine, it becomes this: what are we doing this time? Like, do we want to go in and just fight arcs so that we can get their parts so we can make
Yeah.
other stuff,
You
or
kind
do
of
we go in because we
take a
need to get
quest. Yeah.
yeah, right, whatever.
Hmm.
And it does. Besides the gameplay, there is, I guess, a conversation going on right now because Embark did this with the finals, which made a tiny bit of a blurb, but it didn't turn into a thing. But the announcers in the finals are partly AI. So what they did was they hired voice actors who gave their consent and everything, and they had already recorded a bunch of lines. And then what they'll do after is to make it more as time goes on, they use AI to create new lines because um, if things are happening in the game, the announcers will say things based off what's happening in the game. So that's what the AI is used for, or what they say is AI for the finals. In Arc Raiders, I guess there's two sets of AI that they're using. One is for voice lines, and once again, all of the voice actors have given their consent and they've recorded like a base number of lines, and then they have a text to speech, will work on whatever you say. So I think stuff like if you were pinging things, characters will say different stuff. And so they
Okay.
will, you know, I I guess a good way to put it is like instead of like calling that person in every couple months to be like, there's a banana, there's a cloth, is there a way to get rid of like not repetitive, I don't want to use that word, mundane lines, I guess. The woman who sells bits and bobs, you can tell her voice is AI because she has her delivery is really weird on certain things. But there are other characters like the guy who sells explosives, like his voice lines are really well done, and I think that's AI as well. They were all based off of other voice actors apparently, but the other AI that they're using is apparently the learning AI for the arcs themselves. So arcs are apparently like learning how we're all playing to essentially combat us because they're looking for longevity in the game later. But I haven't researched a lot of that
Yeah,
and
I've
how
seen.
that's going to work.
Yeah, I've seen some of the reaction to the generative AI stuff, and I really don't know. I don't know enough to. I mean, to like, to give like a informed opinion here, because I also know that I if they got voice actors and they signed some kind of consent, as far as I know, if you're a member of SAG-AFTRA, I think SAG-AFTRA like regulates what kind of deals you're able to make because like with that there was like last year they made a deal with that AI company that was like sanctioned by the union, but I'm not sure if you decided just to work with your own AI. Like if you decided to sign your own contract outside of the union, outside of like certain things set by the union, I don't know if that would violate something within the union. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I don't know, like, are the voice actors they worked with union members? Are they not union members? What kind of stuff complicates that? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't it does make me uncomfortable because I just learned like I've been looking forward to arc raiders and I just learned today and I was that AI like do they use generative AI and I was just like, oh Jesus fucking Christ. And I also know that Patrick Soderlund was one of the guys. I'm pretty sure is one of the guys that co-founded Embark. I'm not sure if he co-founded it or not, but I'm fairly certain he's at Embark. And so it just makes me annoyed that Patrick Soderlund nose dove BioWare into the ground, jump ship, when started Embark, and of course there's
Oh right,
fucking
yeah, because they
generative
were
AI. That
because it's
fucking
former Dice
douchebag.
guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So Yeah, I guess I'll need to read into it to get like a better understanding. But as always, my thing with generative AI is like, does it make the game better? Because oftentimes it's no, and oftentimes it's you didn't need that. Like I've played games where I've heard generative AI um, voice lines, and it's like, no, you can just do just do Animal Crossing there. Bloop, bloop. That's fine. That's perfect.
Oh yeah, that would be wonderful.
You
Yeah.
don't need to give me a stilted, like, it doesn't make the game better if I know it's generative AI, because then I know any dude, any bro with a laptop can do that. It just doesn't sound very good. So, and also, like, okay, you've made a ton of money, Embark, so do you want to replace? I don't know. I just don't know what it adds. The other thing is, like, if to go off on a bit of a tangent, the other thing that we've talked about is, like, NPCs, right? That can speak with generative AI, that can have dynamic conversations about literally anything. And there's been like demos where you can tell NPCs like whatever you want, and the NPCs, I don't know if they're working with ChatGPT, but it's basically a glorified chatbot that because you can say anything to it is now like more dynamic than having preconceived like lines, right? But of course the problem is
Right.
that
Right.
solves a problem that doesn't really exist. It's like, I don't know, do you really need to walk up to every NPC in Night City and have a conversation? Like, it's a novel, neat little thing, but it's just solving a problem that doesn't need to exist. And also there's like, sometimes NPCs say specific things in specific ways because it's a wider part of the world. If you play Destroy All Humans, all the NPCs, all their voice lines are a larger part of the game's narrative. The game's cynical, like, cynical, campy take on 1950s paranoia, right? So it's like, and all that is purposeful. So I don't know. I'm still looking forward to Arc Raiders. I'll probably still play it. I really try not to buy games with generative AI, but I have some, and some have gotten by me, and it makes me angry because every time it's just like, this doesn't make the game better. Fallout, I'm not Fallout. Outlast Trials, which is the
Oh, did that one have it? Oh
yeah, it
wow.
has generative AI, and it's just like it's just portraits, and you can just tell. And I don't understand why that. It's like, you know what? I'd rather not have a portrait there. Just take the portrait away. Just have a creepy wall, because all I see is just AI slop. I can get that on Twitter. I can see that anywhere. I can go to YouTube and type in movie recap or whatever and see the same fucking thing. So it's like, just take it off the wall, because it doesn't make the game better. It doesn't make the setting any better. It just makes me angry that somebody thinks they have to do that, or else our level, our art direction isn't going to be. It's like, no, you're actively making it worse by putting generative AI bullshit on the walls, and that sucks. And also, you've made your money now. Hire one goddamn artist for a week, have them draw some creepy portraits, and put those portraits up. And if they give you three, that's fine. Use three of the same portraits. It's just, but this, yeah, I don't know. It's not needed. It's not. It's not like we. Um, it's not like portrait, like putting up paintings in a video game have been a problem that we've desperately needed solutions for. I think it's a shortcut. It saves money, so that's the reason people are doing it. It has nothing to do with creativity. It's more about the economics of it. And also maybe because, if you want to get really cynical, because some of these I don't know, people that own studios may have money in generative AI, so they want to, fabricate reasons that it can be a profitable thing. But anyway, but on Arc Raiders specifically, I'll hold my tongue until I know more. I know Eurogamer gave it like 2 out of 5 stars, and I'm not sure. I didn't read the review, but I do know that it
It,
was
it
partially due to the
it
AI.
was all
But
due to that, really.
oh, what was it? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that was
And I'm
pretty
and
much the
I'm
reason
not
why.
and I'm not gonna argue. I don't know. I'm not gonna argue one way or the other, because I haven't played the game and I haven't read the review. But I just saw, and that created a bit of a discussion online. But but yeah. Anyway, Arc Raiders does sound awesome though. So
Oh yeah.
and I extraction shooters are a thing that are a cool idea, but it's just one of those things that I have to be in the mood for, and I haven't gotten into one in a long time, so Arc Raiders might be that one. Um, and it's neat that you can have like different. And the thing that makes me worried is if I wait too long to get into Arc Raiders, is it eventually just going to become a standard PvP? Because this idea that like everybody's treating each other nice, this like organic culture is really appealing to me. So it's like, how
Mhm.
long is that going to last? Is that going to last 2 more months before there's enough people in the game that everyone's just shooting each other? Or like, how
Yeah.
long,
Yeah,
how long?
if TikTok is to believed, it's happening now. So,
Okay, yeah, well, I
but I don't know
figured it'd be short
because
lived.
I haven't played in a couple days, so I'm hoping to get on tonight and see what it's like now.
Okay, maybe we can start a grassroots movement. We shout a code words at each other, like in war movies. Flash, thunder. Then that
Right?
means you
Yeah.
don't shoot
Yeah.
each other, something like that. Okay, yeah, I've just been playing. Sorry, is there anything else about Arc Raiders? Anything else you'd like
No,
to? No.
no,
Okay.
I'm good.
So, yeah, I've just been playing more Battlefield 6. I'm kind of addicted to it. I've been playing the absolute crap out of it. I have so basically I don't know, 90% of my time playing I've played as support, which is like a medic, and I have the best, like the highest weapon unlocked, and I have it kitted out exactly how I wanted, and I have everything unlocked for the medic. So I have the medic like maxed out, everything unlocked that I wanted, and so I'm good there. So I've started playing as Assault a little bit. Because Assault has the spawn beacon, which is really useful, especially if you're in a squad that's working together. So I was like, okay, so I'll get my Assault class set up where I have the spawn beacon, and then I unlocked the final weapon on the Assault on the carbines, which the carbines aren't. No class it has a proficiency in carbines, but carbines are still nice weapons. So I unlocked the last one there, and the last carbine is really nice. I forget, it looks like an AK-47U, but it's not. But or AK-74U, but it's not. But so I like to put suppressors on my weapons. In Battlefield 6, like many other battlefields and many other games, when you shoot, you expose yourself on a minimap, right? Like everybody can see your position when you shoot. But if you use
Yes.
a suppressor, then not only does it make hearing you a little more difficult, but also enemies don't pick you up on their minimap. And I have gotten, especially when taking objectives, I get a lot of kills by just seeing that orange square appear on the minimap and knowing in what direction an enemy is in, and then sneaking up on them that way or something like that. So with my medic, I have a gigantic 240 M240, which is a giant machine gun, and I've got a suppressor at the end of it to protect myself. And so as assault, I'm playing with I'm trying to get this weapon rank. It's with each weapon, you unlock weapons per level, and it doesn't matter what class you're playing. So as uh, as support, I unlocked sniper rifles and assault rifles, and just when you rank up just your general rank, you unlock weapons. But for the weapon itself, you have to use it to unlock, that weapon's attachments and all that stuff, which I'm sure is in other games, Call of Duty probably, whatnot. So yeah, I'm trying to get the thermal scope and the suppressor. The thermal scope is really nice. Camo, I don't know, camo doesn't really matter all that much in Battlefield, because if you're looking at an enemy, their name will appear orange. So it's like, camo may help you vaguely, but it's not like as important as other milsim games. However, what thermal does do is it helps you spot targets that are far away, and also in buildings that have a ton of debris and shit like that. If you're looking through like a bunch of different bookshelves that are blown up and a door and a pile of rubble with the thermal scope, you'll be able to pick out, you'll see like a glowing thing at the other end of it, and you'll be like, haha, that's an enemy right there. So you're able to pick out a lot of things that or more difficult to pick out through all of Battlefield's chaos. So I love the thermal scope. So yeah, I'm working on unlocking it for the last one, but still enjoying it a lot. I basically have all the same opinions that I had last time. It needs better maps. It needs that's basically it. It just needs bigger maps. And other than that, it would be it would I think it would be really really good. But yeah, okay. Are we ready to get into the news then?
Let's do it.
YouTube.com/gaming discourse, Patreon.com/gaming discourse, 247 $10. Again, go check out the thing I wrote up on Battlefield's single player, and then follow us on Patreon, and I'll give you an update as to the Battlefield 6 campaign video that I am working on currently. Okay, multiple Halo games are in development. This was announced in a blog post. The upcoming Operation Infinite update for Halo Infinite will be the final major content update that's currently planned. I'm going to read straight from the post. With multiple Halo titles in development, we'll need our whole team's combined focus to deliver new experiences with the same passion and care that our community has given us, while we remain committed to supporting Halo Infinite on the road ahead. So as far as I know, that is the first time Microsoft has said that they are working on, it's not surprising, but working on multiple Halo titles concurrently, because we know Campaign Evolved, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. We know that's in the works, and that's going to come out next year. But what we don't know is what these other Halo titles could be. So I'm curious, what we think the future of Halo should look like. What things are we interested? Are we interested in them exploring any specific areas? And then what do you do multiplayer-wise? Because multiplayer was always such a huge component of Halo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you and Campaign Evolved's not going to have a multiplayer element, at least as far as we know. So do you remake Halo 2 and do multiplayer there? Do you do another Halo? Do you do just a free-to-play standalone Halo title that's all multiplayer? Like, I don't know. So what do you think about all this? What do you think?
It's all about execution, and it always has been, particularly with the Halo series, and um, 1 through 3, and then I will say ODST and Reach were of the quality that I think Halo fans were always wanting and interested in. But after that, 4, 5, and Infinite, you kind of began to lose literally the plot. And with Halo, as far as like games go, I'm glad that they're making multiple games, because I think this is a situation where it could be a good reason to throw stuff at the wall to see what sticks. We've talked about it before a long time ago with different types of series. When someone's story is done, it should be done, like, and they should move on. And as much as I love Chief, as much as I love like whatever he did in the original trilogy, what he's doing now is not anything that's fairly interesting, in my opinion. And it's also just kind of it's messy. But with multiple Halo titles, I have always been, when you create a large universe such as Halo, such as we always say it's Star Wars, Star Trek to an extent, and other franchises, particularly dealing with sci-fi, I'm always a fan of what normal people are doing. And so I would love to see them take another crack at like ODST, or maybe some of the like some of the soldiers that aren't as like adept at fighting these threats as the Spartans are. You could make another Spartan team game of some sort. Maybe take some cues from something like Republic Commando, or maybe even Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, and have a single player game where you have a squad that you can command in some way, shape, or form, because I miss that type of stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Also, like a Halo stealth game might be cool. Maybe you play as like a human that's during the invasion of New Mombasa trying to escape or something.
Yeah, that's the thing about Halo is, unlike something, I don't know, unlike Splinter Cell, where Splinter Cell was about one specific dude, about Sam Fisher. So it's like if you made another Splinter Cell, it would have to be another like Splinter Cell is stealth, right? There's not a whole lot you can do with that. That's not stealth. You can do what
Right.
Conviction and Blacklist try different things, but I think like if you go much further than that, you're just gonna have an action game at that point. So it's like, but Halo is more like Star Wars, where I think you can do a lot more with it. I think people have always wanted a Halo, a space RTS like Homeworld or Sins of a Solar Empire or something like that, where you control fleets, and it's humans versus Covenant or whatever. Maybe you can do 4X Grand Strategy, kind of like Stellaris. There's a shit ton of mods out there for Halo. I think you're correct. ODST to me, either remaking it or doing like an ODST 2, where what you tell ODST stories from other parts of the war. So, like, what are ODST troops doing during Halo 3? What about during the opening of Halo 2? Like, where are ODST troops dropping? What about on the other side of the Earth? Maybe you can just say, and the Covenant invaded to over here as well, and so it's like a totally different thing over there. So you can like slot in different stories all over the place. I think ODST 2 would be a cool little addition. Yeah, and then like I already said with some of the grand strategy stuff, I think genre-wise you could really shake things up. Another Halo RTS, another Halo Wars, I think would be. But that's all. But like. As far as Halo Studios goes, I don't know what they're capable of and how many teams they have and how many projects they can juggle at once. The multiplayer thing is what I don't really know, because Halo Master Chief Collection is amazing. Like you go on there, you play Halo 2 right now, and that's the best version of Halo 2. Unless you want to try playing on an original Xbox, that's the best version of Halo 2 right now, and it still plays like Halo 2, and Halo 3 plays like Halo 3, etc., etc. And that's amazing, and it's amazing that they've got all that working, and so that's going to hopefully that'll be up for a long time, because Halo 2 should remain playable and whatnot, and I miss Halo so much. But it's like, yeah, where do you go from there? I don't know if you continue doing Infinite and do you do like an Infinite 2 multiplayer where it's a free-to-play multiplayer title, kind of like Warzone, or RedSec, where you have a free-to-play like multiplayer thing that is outside of the core paid game, something like that, and then maybe you bridge the two, where everybody that buys Campaign Evolved gets, I don't know what you would call it, but Halo Infinite Multiplayer, whatever you'd call it something. But everybody that gets Campaign Evolved gets this multiplayer thing for free, and then everyone who doesn't buy it gets it because it's a free-to-play game. I don't know if I necessarily like that solution, but that's definitely a solution.
I think that's unfortunately probably the solution. Is to create another free to play
Yeah.
multiplayer aspect to it.
Yep.
And that is 100% not insinuating like battle royale or anything. Just redo Halo Infinite. Of course, not call it Halo Infinite, but I think that's the only way to take the burden off of not only trying to take trying to create a single player story and a multiplayer story every couple of years.
I know what you're saying. Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But also I think that you need to also make sure your games kind of focus on a certain frame of time in the series, because that was also another weird thing about each of the Halo sequels, was that they were very inconsistent with what Spartans can do, the abilities they had, the weapons they had.
Yeah.
Because it would, Halo 1 and 2 were very, I hate using this phrase, but it's true, were by and large grounded. Like a lot of the human were just simple assault
Sure,
rifles, battle
yeah.
rifle, pistols, stuff like that. And then you get to Infinite, and there's so much stuff that these guys are superheroes. And yes, they were superheroes, like for the most part, but is it different to is different to see like Spartans literally flying across the map
Yeah, it
because
is
of
a
the
different.
abilities they have.
Yes, yeah, it is a different. There are inconsistencies there, and I'm trying to think of like other games that did something similar. I'm drawing a blank, but I don't know, like the portrayal of like xenomorphs in certain games, right? Because
Yeah,
it's all about the genre. So it's like, yeah, in Alien Isolation, the xenomorph is going to be unkillable or extremely difficult to kill because it's alien. In Alien Fireteam Elite, it's going to be aliens, so the aliens are just these things that die from a couple shots and they rush you and you mow them down because that's what the game needs for it to make sense and for it to be fun. And so I'm
yeah,
fine with that being malleable and contouring to like what the game needs and what the gameplay requires so that it's fun and it fits. It would suck if and there are like stronger, like, yes, technically in Fireteam Elite the drone or whatever it is like the type of alien that's in Alien Isolation, and it's a little more powerful and difficult to kill. But even then, like in Alien Isolation, if the xenomorph catches up with you, you die. Like there's no escaping it. In Alien Isolation, you get downed. So it's like, again, they make up stuff so that the gameplay works, and I think that's the most important thing. Yeah, I was going to the major complaint I always had about Infinite is that the art direction just completely exploded. I mean, it's just literally it just looks like the, it's, some of the stuff in Infinite just does not look like Halo. They because you had to keep making different types of armors and different types of armors and crazier helmets and crazier shoulder armor and chest armor and stuff like that. It just got to a point where it was completely silly. So I would like to see them go back to having some kind of restraint with that and it not being completely ridiculous. Just because, I don't know, I don't remember Halo 3 or Infinite being like that. I remember everything being like relatively samey, like everything made sense. Not insane where like the armor, and also in doing that you also make it generic because now it doesn't look like a Spartan, it just looks like a dude in a combat suit, right? It could, it looks like other games where Halo used to have a really specific identity. So I would want them to get away from that art direction, but that's more about art direction than it is about like what direction you take the series. Yeah, I think if they remade ODST, that would be a big thing. But again, I don't know if they need to remake it. Like, it's good where it is. I think, in my mind, with the Master Chief Collection, the shape that it's in, I think what you should do is make new stuff. That's what I would want. Make an ODST 2, and maybe do it like you did with Medal of Honor Airborne, only do it well, where you drop into a level and you've got like a big open level and you can kind of plan your drop and a little like Helldivers maybe, only more like instead of it being a big, a little more narrow and more story focused or whatever. But you can kind of plan your drop and just there's a lot you can do. So I hope that they're coming up with cool stuff. But yeah, the story after Halo 4 was okay. I was okay with it. I was like, okay, Didact, you get, there's a new bad guy. Cortana's gone. How is the Chief gonna handle this? And then it was very similar to The Force Awakens. It was like, yeah, it's just another episode 4, and I could have done with some of the little dumb scenes here and there, but like with the Beholder. But for the most part, I'm good.
yeah.
And then after that, it just went right off a cliff. Instantly right off a cliff. So it's like, yeah, get away from Cortana being a genocidal villain. Like, get away from all that. I don't know if I ever told you about that in Halo Infinite. Um,
Because you
about
beat it, right?
I did finish it, yeah, and then I made a video about
Yeah.
it. But do you care about infinite spoilers?
No, no, I don't.
Because Cortana blows up a planet that the brutes are from. So it's like it's one thing to do what she did at the end of Halo 5, where she like EMPs a bunch of ships and jumps away. It's like, okay, you did something bad, but no one died. And then she literally, she like blows up the home planet of an alien race, and you're just like, oh, okay, so she's a genocidal maniac now. Cool. And it didn't need to happen. Oh, Halo Infinite was so stupid. I'm sorry. I'm just digging at old wounds now. That was so bad. That was so dumb. So don't do that. Don't don't
Yeah,
do
of
what
course
they
not.
did with Halo Infinite. Um, and of course, like Halo Infinite structure was also interesting because it was an open world and it mostly worked. It wasn't perfect, but like if they took another shot at it um and really like ironed out some of the wrinkles in the open world design, I think it could be really cool and it would work. Because there are levels across Halo 1, 2, and 3 that are just really big levels. Silent Cartographer, is one example. Halo, the second level, is one example. You drive around, you can get out of the Warthog, check stuff out, whatever. So if they did something like that, it would be cool, but I think Campaign Evolved is going to be closer to the linearity of Combat Evolved. But yeah, is there anything else you would like to say about this before we move on?
No, I just would like to see Halo get back to something that people are excited about.
Yeah, me too. And of course, yeah, I'll just say yes. Me too. Yes.
Yes.
As someone who grew up, as Halo is like my game, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's pathetic that I'm still proud of having like a level 42 rank in Halo 2 or something way back in the day.
Right,
But
yeah.
I don't care because I'm still proud of that. God damn it. All right. To more serious matters. So we're going to talk about the GTA 6 delay and also give an update on the union busting story we talked about last week. So if you don't remember last week, like between 30 and 40 employees at Rockstar in the UK and some in the US, I think, were laid off. The At the time, Rockstar said they were laid off for gross misconduct, and the union said they were laid off. People involved with the union said no, it was an obvious attempt at union busting. Well, as first reported by Jason Schreier, the previously fired Rockstar employees were let go after sharing confidential company information in a forum that included non-employees. All of the affected employees were members of a trade union Discord server, and the only outsiders in the chat were labor organizers from the Independent Workers Union of Great Britain. Former employees and the union dispute that they were let go for leaking information, and said they were fired without warning, evidence, or a chance to speak for themselves. Meanwhile, a post from an unconfirmed Rockstar employee on GTA forums, it has been confirmed by people on the forum, but no one outside of the forum, has gone viral, claiming that the firings were a blatant attempt at union busting. There's also some other stuff in that, some other specific details in that forum post that, again, is, as of now, unconfirmed from any, like, journalist or outlet, but is confirmed by the forum itself. The IWGB is now working on a legal defense for the laid-off Rockstar employees. And then, obviously, in other news, GTA 6 was delayed to November 19th, 2026, so more than a year now, a year and 9 days from now. In their financial results for the second fiscal quarter of 2026, CEO Strauss Zelnick said, quote, Rockstar Games will now release GTA 6 on November 19th, 2026, and we remain both excited and confident they will deliver an unrivaled blockbuster entertainment experience with the most robust pipeline in our company's history. We expect to achieve record levels of net bookings in fiscal 2027, which will establish a new baseline for our business and set us on a path of enhanced profitability. As far as I know, net bookings can be read as player spending. So live service stuff, microtransactions, buying currency, etc., etc. That would be net bookings. I don't know if every company considers net bookings the same exact category or not, but that is how I understand net bookings. So that's I found that interesting for a couple different reasons here. What did you see about the labor dispute thing? Did you have any thoughts on yeah, sort of the details that have come out since we talked about it last week? It's right now. It's just the labor union is saying one thing, Rockstar is saying another, and while
Right.
I tend to believe, I tend not to believe corporations. It seems like we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens here.
That's kind of it as well. This is since I sent you the link that we
Yes.
have here on our news. Um, the amount of information and people speaking up has kind of blown up exponentially, and so it's kind of hard to like parse all of this information. But it kind of sounds like they are trying to union bust here, and then that's very disappointing
Yeah.
for Rockstar, especially if some of these employees that have been terminated have been around for
Like 20 years. Yeah. Some of
20
them.
plus years, and according to the reports, they were very very important people in the series or in the company. And so how much is that affecting the development of GTA 6? Obviously a lot, since they're delaying it again. But that was something that I expected to happen even before the situation, because that's just how Rockstar operates. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really have much to say, because it's well, one, and maybe this is just the cynicism coming from me, but what's going to happen? You know, even if they are union busting, like what's unless the EU government gets involved, I mean, nothing,
Yeah. Well, if
nothing's gonna,
I don't know, I don't know, like we always say we're not
EU
lawyers.
laws.
I
Yeah.
don't know EU laws or UK laws because they're not part of the European Union anymore.
Sorry,
But
sorry. Yes, correct.
but or US labor law. But I mean, if they are getting legal defense for the laid off employees and it goes to a lawsuit and they win the lawsuit, that would be something. And I don't know if you can get your job back if you're wrongfully terminated and you have like a labor like, or if you get some kind of settlement. I don't know how any of that works, but if it does go to a lawsuit, then maybe there will be some kind of, if not, like, yeah, it may not be an outcome that fixes labor across the entire world, but maybe for the 30 people that just lost jobs, maybe it will make it right for them, and that's what's the important thing. That I don't want to speculate too much uh, about like what has happened here, but I'm curious if I don't know, because this feels like something where somebody may have like lightly violated some kind of like guideline or rule, so they're getting the book thrown at them because you can't. I don't. I wish I could think of like a better example, because you can't fire them, for doing their union stuff, but it's
Right.
like but they blinked a wrong way, so it's like, aha, we'll get you for this, and we're not firing you for the union stuff, we're firing you for this little technicality,
Right.
this
Yeah.
little rule that you broke over here, so it's disingenuous, or it's an excuse, like whatever. That's what it feels like here. Is feels like maybe, especially just considering, yeah, because I've heard the same thing. Like there were developers here that have been at Rockstar for a long time, and there was a protest outside the building in the UK. So it's like this
Yes.
this has really made a lot of people angry, as it would, but it's like not just angry, but also like people have jumped right into action. So yeah, I'm curious as to if like there isn't an angle like that somehow.
Right.
But the thing that outside of the labor dispute, the thing that I wanted to say about what Strauss-Zelnick said in that fiscal quarter report was that so he says we expect to achieve record levels of net bookings in fiscal 2027, which will establish a new baseline for our business. It can't. Like, why? This is the most unsustainable thing that has ever happened in games. It has to be. Is GTA 6, because
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
whatever the budget is going to be, the next budget for GTA 7's budget, if it is more than GTA 6, there are only so many times you can keep increasing that budget before the bow just breaks and the
Yep.
economics do not work for you to make a game that expensive, right? Like, I don't know how much money there is on Earth. I'll just say $10 trillion, whatever. If you just included all the wealth on Earth, you made some ridiculous sum, that's how much. Okay, that means that a game cannot cost $50 trillion to make. If
Right. Yeah.
if there is a max amount of money on Earth that you could possibly spend on something. Okay, we live in a finite system on a planet that is shielded by magnetic rays and an atmosphere from empty nothingness. So it's like there's only so much you can do in that finite space. So I just read that and it just rolled my eyes because it's like I'm curious if like investors and people, I don't know, like if the people that don't play video games but hold some kind of share in Take Two, and banks hold shares in companies. Wells Fargo like owns shares in Ubisoft. I think I don't know if it's still anymore, but like so different corporations hold like these corporate equity stakes, whatever, in these companies. So it's like, do they understand that GTA 6 is not just an outlier, but it is an outlier of an outlier? Like we're talking Michael Jordan and LeBron James, right? We're talking
Yes.
Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. Like these kinds of things come around once in a generation, if that. So you cannot expect this to be a sustainable thing that happens all the time. So it makes me roll my eyes because I just see some like J. Jonah Jameson character reading that and puffing a cigar and going, "Oh, great," and not understanding that it's completely unrealistic for this to happen again and again. And the other thing is, excuse me, I've said this before, but like, where would Take Two be without Rockstar? Um, I don't think that's an unfair thing to say, and it's just because Strauss Zelnick kind of annoys me sometimes. But I feel like Take Two is in the position it's in now for GTA Online, but also because of the single player modes for its games,
Right.
specifically like Red Dead Redemption 2, right? So and the excitement for GTA 6 is the excitement for its single player. I think. I don't know, is anyone chomping at the bit to get to more horrible uh,
And
menus and free to play
and that's a
slop? And I mean, I don't know. Go ahead.
that's a great point you're making because it was just, I think, 3 days ago it was just announced that Red Dead Redemption 2 became the fourth best selling game of all time. And the thing about that is nobody's playing Red Dead Online.
Yeah, they can't because it's broken.
Nobody. Which is weird. They could have been like Red Dead Redemption Online could have been, not as big as GTA Online in my opinion, but definitely comparable.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but they didn't have to do that, and they just had to make a good game with a good story, and they did that. But unfortunately, it's possibly going to be another situation where the company does not take the correct lessons from
Yeah.
the success that they have made.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I was. Yeah. That's exactly what I was trying to get to. Is like because the lesson here is that people are excited for the main characters, Jason and Lucia. Everybody's gonna fall in love with Lucia, right? Everybody loves a woman
Yeah,
that can kick your ass and then put on a sexy dress. Like that's everybody. Like that's Carlac, right? That's everybody's favorite woman. I don't want to hear otherwise. So
you're
everybody's
right.
gonna everybody's gonna fall in love with Lucia. She's gonna be a Starian for people that like chicks. Like it's gonna be that simple. And yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be people that like Jason too, and it's gonna be amazing. And that's what people are excited for, and Stephen Root as well. Well, I'm really excited for, baby. No, but like, I just, that's I think it's just important to point that out because I don't know how many like investor types understand the hype behind GTA. Like why GTA people are excited for GTA 6. And right now it's not I don't think it's because of the online modes. I'm sure there are people that are looking forward to it that played a lot of GTA online, But in my mind, like with Red Dead Redemption 2, it's the single player, right? Which Rockstar is
Yes.
known for. Now, you could throw in my face that GTA Online has been super successful, and it has. It really has. But is it there without GTA 5 single player? And if they announced GTA 6 as just a sequel to GTA Online, and it wasn't going to have a story mode, there definitely would be backlash, and it would not be the same kind of hype, I think. So
Right.
that's just something I think we should point out. And just because Strauss Selnick annoys me, I just want to I just want to point out that if it weren't for Rockstar, what would Take Two be right now? You'd have Borderlands, you'd have a shitty basketball game, you'd have some other stuff. You wouldn't be this mountain moving company. So Rockstar makes really good single player stuff. It solidifies your position. So can we stop? I don't know. Can we give credit to that, and then instead of I don't know, pretending that Rockstar's Take Two's forays into the mobile market and other bullshit places like that is really meaningful at all, outside of
Right.
a possibly financial sense. But anyway, is there anything else about any of this that you would like to say?
No, no, it's just same shit, different day.
You don't have any tidbits, correct?
No, no, I mean, oh, not necessarily. I'm not ready with them, but if you wanna Indiana catch, then I can search some stuff up.
No, we'll save them for next week.
All right, then
I'm gonna
perfect.
go cry because the Giants fired their head coach, and
Uh-huh.
because I'm gonna have a busy week. Follow us youtube.com/gaming discourse, patreon.com/the gaming discourse, and we may be in studio next week. We may not. It's a fluid situation. I don't really know. But yeah, we will see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.